In today's video, I give you 10 tips to help navigate Return to Moria's new Golden Update. I'm your boy Winter Phoenix, and if this video helps you in any way, leave a like and a comment to let me know you want more just like this. To get things started, we're back in the kitchen, but this time we aren't waiting around to eat dinner at the family table because it's 2024 and we've got places to be. Instead, I'm going to show you how to meal prep and keep your dwarf in tip-top shape at all times. For this to work, you'll need the roasting pit specifically. Normally anything you make off the roasting pit is transported to the meal table and you have to eat it within a set period of time before it goes to waste. When that happens, you lose all the resources used to make any food items and you have to clear the table of the spoiled food before another meal can be cooked. Well, no more. First, you'll need to make a meal that you want to save. You can make just one meal or 8, it really doesn't matter. I like to queue up 8 meals at a time because I like to stockpile my new Lunchables. When the timer hits 5 seconds remaining, quit the world back to the main menu. Load up the same world and check on your roasting pit. You'll now see all the meals are cooked and waiting for you on the roasting pit in little individual packages. You can pick up these meals and shove them in a nearby box to eat them when you want. They no longer spoil in this state and you'll never waste another meal. Repeat this trick to keep your food supplies topped off. Now that we have an ample supply of cooked meals, it's time to talk about what we're going to do with all of them now. In the Golden Update, eating the right meal during the right part of the day gives you extra buffs. If it's early in the morning, eating a breakfast meal will give you a special buff versus eating lunch for breakfast that gives you no extra buffs. How do you know what foods to eat and when? Well, I'll show you. If you look here, you'll see the day's progression from morning to night. Next, if you open a cooking station, you'll see these new tabs that now sort your meals into breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But that's not all they added. You can also see these little sun icons that indicate what type of food you should be cooking for that period of day. Breakfast in the morning, lunch in the afternoon, and dinner during the dark hours. If you listen to my first tip, then you can just go to your chest and grab the appropriate foods before heading out on your adventures. This next tip is for all those dwarves who want to drink more than eat. It's completely lore accurate, so I get it, but eating is a must in this game. Or is it? We've all been out deep in the mine somewhere when our tummy starts to rumble and we need to make a mad dash back home or find the nearest map stone. But what if I told you that drinking beer is an option and you can stay out longer in the mines? In fact, you can stay out in the mines as long as you want if you manage to bring the right beer with you. That beer is the Miravor brew, and it's a game changer. Not only does this brew give you a healing buff, but it continues to heal even after you are full health. You can weather the starvation debuff and keep all your HP nice and full. This brew is even strong enough to fight off starvation and despair at the same time. Gone are the days of managing our rations out in the field. Liquored up and a full belly means it's time to hit the mines. While out in the mines, we want to make every run worth it. It's dangerous out there, so the faster you can get out there and get back, the more likely you are to live a long and healthy life as the Lord of Moria. This trick will help you preserve your stamina and move across the map faster as well. And how do we do that? Well, let's not jump ahead. That was a terrible joke, but I'm keeping it in there anyways. Jumping doesn't consume stamina and can allow you to move throughout the mines much faster, but that's not the only thing that jumping is good for. You can also run through the clouds of darkness without taking depression damage afterwards. To do this, you must jump over the purple cloud at least once in order to break your contact with the shroud. The darkness meter will stop filling up momentarily and allow you to sprint through the fog unharmed. Before we hop off this subject, I got one more tip. This is more for those solo players running the mines. As you discover new areas, you'll notice you have to first dig through either compacted dirt walls or sometimes even stone. When you do this, you can actually create a safe haven right here. When you swing your pickaxe into the wall, jump at the same time. You can't jump then swing, so keep that in mind. If done right, your dwarf will jump and pick the wall at the same time. You can then jump into this new cutout and continue to dig through to the next area. This creates these hurdles that the orcs or wargs can't get over. Whenever you are overwhelmed, run back to this opening and jump through to make a clean getaway. You can then recover on the other side of the wall and return when you're ready to fight. If you want to take this one step further, you can even dig into the walls and make this little pocket to keep enemies away from you on both sides. Maybe you already knew these tips and still can't get through the mines. Then you, my friend, need these next few. Return to Moria Golden Update also added Sandbox mode, and it's more than you think. This mode removes the story elements and jumbles up the layout of the mines. It also comes with extra statues to fix that the story mode does not offer. These extra statues now give schematics to tier 6 armor and weapons, like these showcased here. These weapons are on the same level as the ultimate weapon unlocked in the main storyline. You can now have a tier 6 sword, hammer, halberd, and axe to go with your story mode legendary weapon. Like I said, in this mode, the story mode isn't there to pressure you into a linear path of progression. Jump into a sandbox and just run through it. Evade enemies and orc towns, just focus on that next wall to break through and find those statues. There's lots of new armors for all the tiers too, so don't think you have to run so deep into the sandbox to start seeing new recipes. And as a last FYI, this mode is the only way to find and make the strongest weapons and armor in the game as of this recording, so there's also that. Now, before we get into some combat tips, I want to talk about something that I've been in combat with. My subscriber count. October 24th marks my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, and I'm extremely excited about the channel's progression so far, but I've got bigger goals in mind. That's where I need your help. A lot of you come back to my channel and enjoy my content, and I do my best to keep it light and entertaining as we grow together. All I ask is if you find yourself coming back to my videos and haven't subscribed yet, that you find inner peace. And hit the freaking sub button already. Look at these numbers. How many of my videos have you watched already and you won't sub? Is the constant entertainment not to your liking? Are you not entertained? This next tip is about combat, so pay attention all you bloodthirsty dwarves and dwarfettes. The new update has done a lot for the combat system since launch, especially in the way of combos and charged attacks. If you don't know, you can hold your attack for a brief moment to get this flash. Continue to hold your attack and your weapon will flash a second time. These are your charged attacks, and each weapon class has a unique set of charged attacks. The first charged attack is your combo linker. Try to land an attack or two and then hold down your attack button to charge up a quick and powerful attack. Then keep going with your regular attacks to keep up the pressure. The second charged attack, or flash, is an AoE attack that usually creates a lot of space between you and your attackers. Personally, I love knocking an orc to the ground with either the shield bash or my hammer uppercut of justice and unleashing as many level 1 charged attacks as I can before they get up. This does heaps of damage and usually spells death for anyone caught in this combo if gone uninterrupted. At some point in the game, you are going to need to plant your own gardens and grow crops. You can place little patches all over, but most of us are going to like the nicer farm boxes. I covered these farm boxes in my advanced tips and tricks video, so if you're entirely new to them, I would recommend watching that one first. For those of you who have already seen that one and want to optimize your farm boxes, then listen up. Each full day will yield 1 crop. The farm box can hold 3 seeds that each sprout 4 plants. That's 12 crops a box. That means you'd have to wait for 4 full days to pass. We don't have time for that, so here's how we get past it. Plant your desired crops and go to bed. Each morning, you will wake up with a rested buff. The strength of the buff depends on your bed, but the timer is still the same. When you wake up, you'll see your crops have sprouted as well. The rested buff is important here because it serves as an active timer for this strategy. Once this timer has run out, you are no longer, quote unquote, rested. Immediately go back to sleep. Again, your crops will sprout another plant or mushroom. Repeat this process to mass produce your crops. You might not get the chance to make loads of farm boxes because the recipe is pretty expensive, but you can utilize this trick to quickly grow crops for making beer and high-end meals. I love building in any Survivor game, and it's partially the reason I even play them in the first place. The new update has added bookshelves. These bookshelves hold all the books that you'll find out in the mines. There's also one that holds scrolls as well. Once you place one of these down, study at them for a building buff. The buff varies in strength depending on how full the bookshelf is, but it will give you a chance to build something at no cost to you. If you like to make big fancy builds, then you'll need these buffs maxed out and always on. Big builds are a lot of fun and allow your own personal style to come to life, but they can be very expensive. This buff will make your building days that much easier and cheaper. While we're talking about building tips, I've got another one for you. This time we are looking at these new lamps. These lamps do more than light up a room though. These lamps here give you the hero spirit. This is the same buff you get when you honor a fallen dwarf or first repair a statue out in the mines. Now you can get this buff at home and always have that much more stamina than you normally have. Durian's lamp is my favorite though, as it gives you the best buff in the game, Undaunted. This buff is usually only gained when fixing and singing at the much bigger monuments. Utilize my jumping tricks in the purple shroud to get the Mahal's gift and make yourself a Durian's lamp. And this last one is a bit of a mashup of some quick fire tips. I have lots of tips to share with all of you, but I can't make a 5-hour video on Return to Moria. Who would even watch that? So here we go. Vacuum collection has been added. Just hold the E key and walk around. When in the mines, you must keep a full stack of stone, wood scraps, and rope on you at all times. This makes traversing 10 times easier. Precious gem nodes now drop more black diamonds. Remember this if you can't find any more black diamonds and you need them to progress further. And last but not least, use the Radiant enchant as a free torch. Any weapon imbued with this enchantment will glow bright when unsheathed and light up even the darkest areas. And that's all I'm going to teach you guys today. I've played this game for almost 1,000 hours now since release, and I've got so much more to show you all. If you learned anything from this video, then by the code of all gamers out there, you owe me one. Pay the piper, sub to my channel. That's all I got for now. Later, nerds.